ibsportstv.com, BJ, Rel G, stop the fines. Let's get into it. Terrelle Pryor signs a 4-year deal with the Oakland Raiders. Now let me give you a little bit of background on Terrelle Pryor. Terrelle Pryor at Ohio State University got suspended for selling illegal merchandise with the NCAA. And that suspension, a 5-game suspension, that suspension would have been given to him the next 5 games in his NCAA career, but he ran a 4.36 40 and got picked up by the Oakland Raiders. Now, Roger Goodell, as he's going into the NFL, as Terrelle Pryor's going to the NFL, carried that suspension over to the NFL, so he's suspended for the first 5 games in the NFL. Roger Goodell, always suspending and fining folks. Stop the fines. I mean, I guess we got to add stop the suspensions to it too.
You mad that you can't get out there, Roger Goodell. You're a little creepy. Now you want to, this isn't like you're going to take him from college stuff he did in college and take it to NFL. You just want your name on stuff. You just want your name on shit now, boy. Excuse my language. But this guy, come on now. It was college.
Stop the fine. Stop.
Hey, stop the fine.
Now let me tell you a little bit about Terrelle Pryor. A little more about Terrelle Pryor. Terrelle Pryor again ran a 4.36 40, and Terrelle Pryor is 6'5", 232 32 pounds. That means he is big and he's fast, like your mother headed to the buffet line. Roger Goodell, ridiculous with the suspensions. Terrelle Pryor, they're talking about he could possibly play wide receiver or talk about putting him in different positions. So, I mean, I personally, he doesn't have the mechanics as a quarterback to be a high prospect like Cam Newton or anything like that, but I don't know about changing him to a different position. Now the Raiders already have Jason Campbell and Trent Edwards, Kyle Bowler. They already have a lot of quarterbacks, and they're all middle of the road quarterbacks too. So no one has really stepped up and grasped that position. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's talk about the Raiders season. I'm going to ask you, how do you think they're going to do in that division? In that division, the San Diego.
With Terrelle Pryor as quarterback?
No, just the season in general. I mean, Terrelle Pryor, he's not gonna. I mean, of course, he's not gonna start this first season. You know.
He's not. It's I don't know what it is with the Raiders. You know, they had that potential there,
but they just never win.
Things just don't. I believe they beat themselves. Honestly, they just lose.
It's
like,
really
because they have potential there. Like you see it there. You know what I'm saying?
They have the talent and everything.
Talent. It's just
it's a combination of things.
It's a combination of things. They just got to dig into that whole players and the crew, everybody.
You know what? Fun fact here: the Raiders, the last 3 seasons, picked up the player with the fastest 40 time in the scouting combine. 2011, DeMarcus Van Dyke. 2010, Jacoby Ford, who was a beast, by the way. And 2009, Darius Hayward-Bay. Middle of the road receiver, still getting a little better. So the Oakland Raiders, they love speed. Now, if the NFL participated in a relay race every year, then the Raiders would be in the Super Bowl every year. They'd win the championship every year unless they still had Jamarcus Russell. Otherwise, you know. but they would be there every year. So the Raiders. Let's get back to the question. How do I think personally they're gonna do in that division? In that division, of course, is San Diego, Kansas City, and the Denver Broncos. Now, I think San Diego's gonna win that division because San Diego is just talented, and they were good last season. They actually have the #1 offense and defense. It's just their special teams destroyed them last. I mean, their special teams was when I say their special teams was awful, it was bad. Yeah, I do think they come with that corrected this season. Phillip Rivers, I really like his style of play. I really like what he's doing. He really gets his balls to all those receivers, and the San Diego Chargers just look great. So I have them winning first place. Second, I have Kansas City. They look good last season. Then I'd put Raiders in third. I think they, just like every year, I think they barely make 500. That's unfortunate for the Raiders, but that's how I feel like they're gonna do. Yeah, the Raiders, they lost Nnamdi Asomugha and Zach Miller. Zach Miller and elite tight end and Nnamdi Asomugha, arguably the best cornerback in the league. So Oakland Raiders, I have them in third place in the AFC West. Let's move on to, let's talk about peg leg plaques and the Jets and the New York Jets. Now, he looked pretty good in the preseason. He looked very good in the preseason, actually. And he can only, in my opinion, he can only get better as we get into the regular season, as it progresses, because he's still trying to get the mindset back into football and get
coming out of that, not playing football for a whole, how long have you got?
a long time.
A long time. It's gonna take a long time. And trying to get back in that muscle memory and those workouts and oh man. Gotta catch up.
He already looks good. He's just gonna, I just feel like he's gonna pick up speed in the regular season when the regular season starts. Now the Jets, how are the Jets gonna stack up this season, just in general? Now I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, and then I'll throw in there what I'll say. How do you think? Are they a playoff team this year again, or?
I think they are. Honestly, I think they are. I think if they come with the same mentality, the same what's the word I'm looking for? The same courage and just the fight to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
Like they did last season and proving doubters wrong. I believe that they can go a long way once again. Straight up.
Now,
what about you, man?
The Jets last season were that potential powerhouse team that the Eagles are this season. The Jets, they picked up all those players and everybody was screaming, Jets Super Bowl, Jets Super Bowl. We were already picking the Jets to win the Super Bowl. And they still have those players that made them that potential powerhouse team. They just have a little experience under the belt as a whole, as a collection. And I really think that goes a long way this season. I think the Jets make it deep into the playoffs. I'll never just sit here and say, okay, Super Bowl. But I think the Jets make it deep into the playoffs. And it really all, it depends on, because they have weapons everywhere. The run game is fantastic with Sean Green and LaDainian Tomlinson. And of course, we're talking about Plax. That receiving core is great because Plax has a great supporting cast with Santonio Holmes and Derek Mason that actually picked up for Baltimore. All that aside, it is all going to depend on how good Mark Sanchez decides to play this season.
Mark, it's on you.
All on Mark.
It's on you, Mark.
Now, when Mark starts throwing picks, he really starts throwing picks. It's a lot of them, and it would cause him to lose games. He's got to minimize the mistakes, and he has to be more consistent and be that leader that team of veteran and elite players need to win a championship. All on Mark. And it was all on Mark last year.
Mark, it's on you. Once again, lights, camera, action.
Yep, so Jets did a great job with replacing Braylon Edwards with Plaxico Burress. Braylon Edwards looking pretty good in San Francisco, by the way. So that's it. That's what we're thinking right now. Let us know what you think of the Jets season, the Raiders season, peg leg Plax, and Terrelle Pryor going to the Raiders. Make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Make sure to sign up for ivysportstv.com and make NFL
sign up.
Week
sign up.
1
picks. Sign up.
And we will announce the leaders after week 1 and then proceed to make your week 2, week 3, week 4, so on and so forth picks. ivysportstv.com, BJ Terrelle G. Stop the fine!
Stop, man.
And we're signing off.